I started wrestling in 7th grade, and the reason why I started was because in 7th grade I weighed 85 pounds. So, hard to be a football player or basketball player or anything like that. And I did play, it just wasn't my thing because a lot of that stuff was based on size. And I found out that wrestling, it had weight classes, it had, age divisions and things like that. And so it gave me an opportunity to compete with guys my size, and it wasn't based on, it was purely based on talent and hard work, and that was the stuff that shone through. It wasn't natural athletic ability, it wasn't who was the fastest or the tallest or anything like that. Wrestling to me is sort of life. It was where I really found my home, really found my focus and my what I wanted to do, what I was good at. I competed in that. It drove me. It taught me how to work hard and how I could get through anything. That's where I had my most success, athletically, and even beyond that, because once I got out of high school, I went to college and got a degree in history and in teaching, and now I teach at a high school, and I'm a wrestling coach. So, that's where really I've kind of focused my whole life with wrestling. It was with me as an athlete, and now it's with me as a coach. And as far as MMA, I mean, that's really my biggest strength is my wrestling ability. And really where I think it comes into play in the MMA, as far as from a fighting sense, you control where the fight is. If you're in there with a guy, you do want to hone your skills on your feet and on the mat. You want to be good. You want to have good hands and good kicks. You want to have good solid jiu-jitsu on the ground and ground and pound and things like that. But you're going to get in there with guys that are better than you somewhere. You might get in there with a guy that's just been doing Muay Thai his whole life, or he might have been boxing, or he might have been doing jiu-jitsu. Okay, so if a guy's been boxing his whole life, you probably don't want to stand and trade punches with that guy. He's going to have more talent. He's going to be faster. He's going to be able to beat you in that respect. So you need to get him to the ground. Same thing with the jiu-jitsu sense. If a guy's been doing jiu-jitsu his whole life and he wants to take you down and submit you, you got to know how to stop him from getting there. And so that's where I think it really helps me from a fighting sense. Is I get to control whether I want to be on my feet or whether I want to be on the mat, and I get to dictate that. Where it comes into play as far as getting better as a mixed martial artist is the drilling that just getting that sense of drilling. Because from 7th grade until I graduated, it was nothing but every day just drilling. That's all you do is you drill moves, and the only way to get better at it is to drill it. And with kickboxing, with stand-up, it's easy to drill because you can't go live action sparring all day. You can't be bashing each other in the face. Nobody's going to get hurt. With jiu-jitsu, you can do it a little bit, but like I said, with stand-up, you have to hit the pads, you have to hit the back, so you have to drill to get better. With jiu-jitsu, a lot of guys tend to just roll. They just live action spar, and they get better, but I don't think they get as good as they can possibly be because they don't sit down and drill the moves. And I think having that sense of knowing what drilling does and bringing that into jiu-jitsu and bringing that into kickboxing has really helped me get better in both aspects and just become a better MMA fighter. My first fight was whenever I was 18 years old. I was actually in high school still. I hadn't graduated yet, and I just come out of wrestling, so I was in shape. I was ready to go, and I had a friend of mine who had competed in a couple of MMA fights, and he introduced me to a trainer, and who introduced me to some promoters, and got going that way. Had a couple fights while I was actually still in high school, and so that's really how I got started. I wasn't necessarily training MMA. I just fought because I was 18 years old. I thought I was the toughest guy around. I kind of a little bit of that. Not quite as wise as I should be being that young, but that. It was after I got a few fights that I really got interested in training and getting better. And whenever I do fight, my grandpa, I was raised by my grandparents, and so he's really my biggest fan. He's never missed one of my fights. He's always front row. He's always right there. And even when I would lose or whatever, he totally understood. He just wanted me to be happy. He knows enough to know that I'm not going to do something to get myself hurt. He saw me wrestling, and wrestling's a pretty rough sport, but he was there at all my wrestling tournaments, all my wrestling matches, And he knew that all I had to do was, work hard and figure it out and train, and that as long as I was doing those things, doing what I was supposed to do, that it was going to work out all right for me. A lot of the nervousness came from, again, just losing in front of my teammates, in front of my coach, in front of my family, friends, and really all that kind of went away once I learned that my teammates, my coach, my family, they're all just there to support me. They don't care if I win or lose. They just want to watch it. And that's how I kind of look at it with fighting. It's like, yes, there is that slim chance they could catch you with some, out of nowhere punch or kick or something like that, and you could possibly get knocked out. But for the most part, if you're better than that guy, if you've been more disciplined, if you trained hard, you're in shape, you cut the weight the correct way, your diet's right, if you're doing everything right and you're better than that person, it's just like you playing a one-on-one match with Kobe Bryant. If you're better than that guy, there's no way he can beat you. There's nothing that's going to happen that you can't overcome that's not going to make you beat that guy if you're better than him. Even though I am a professional fighter and I've had 17 professional fights, I hold a professional title, it's a hobby for me. I'm a school teacher and I'm a wrestling coach, and that's where my passion lies. I became that. One, I enjoy, because I'm a social studies teacher, I enjoy history, I enjoy learning. I love wrestling, so I'm a wrestling coach and I enjoy all that. But really, where my passion lies is in kids, and I teach high school kids because that's where I feel like I can have the most positive effect. Really what I want to walk away from, from my classroom and from my team and from things like that, I just want to walk away knowing that I had a positive effect on the kids. And the same thing with my friends, with anybody I meet. If I can meet somebody and have some kind of positive effect on them, some kind of positive influence, and they can walk away from whatever interaction we had, feeling better about themselves or being a better person, that's my goal. With anything I do, I want to be the best. I want to be the best teacher I can be. I want to be the best coach I can be. I want to be the best father I can be. I want to be the best boyfriend or husband I can be, the best friend, best son, everything. I want to be the best I can be. And it's the same thing with MMA. When I come to the gym, I come to train hard. I don't come here to be a social butterfly. I'm not coming here to look good or anything like that. I'm coming here to stay healthy, to be active, to get in shape, and to become a better athlete. If you're reading this book or watching this, then you probably have some sort of interest in MMA. And if you're not sure if you should try it, or if you're scared of certain things, give it a shot. Do some research. Find a gym where you feel comfortable. Start slow. Do things that you feel comfortable doing. Nobody's going to expect you to fight. No one's going to expect you to spar on your first day, or get in there and do jiu-jitsu with high-level guys or anything like that. If you're interested, give it a shot, because